together.
Yeah.
And then I just read I Want You. And that being said, the last poem I'm going to read, um, I'll give you a little description first. Um, this poem is called um, it's called Letters to the Authors, a poem of self love. So as a man who has dealt with a man has dealt with like image issues and things. I've been a heavyset man all my life. Sometimes you get down on yourself. Sometimes we all have those insecurities, and you sometimes forget that you are one of your lovers. You have to love yourself first. You have to be a, your own lover first. If you can't love yourself first, if you can't see your worth first and everything, then unfortunately that's where a lot of issues can come and arise from. So for me having these things and these issues and things, and especially at times where you kind of feel rejected, because you feel like you try to put yourself out there and no one really sees you, and maybe because you're not seeing yourself that way. I feel like you have to check in with yourself, and this is kind of what this was for me. So it's called Letter to the Author, a poem of self love. Hey, I want you to look into the mirror. What do you see? Do you realize you look like your grandfather? Don't you understand you possess the same cheekbones and the jawline that was passed to your mother? Look at your hands. Massive, thick. Can't you grasp that they once were the hands of your family's forefather? Recognize that the toenails on your 14-inch colossal feet may not be the prettiest, but those feet were gifted to you by your parental forebears to support and give strength to that towering frame of yours. So you may stand shoulder to broad shoulder with your uncles, barrel chested, full of pride for the artwork of your lineage. There's generations of history on the canvas that is your body. So how could you ever think that was ugly?
So for the drawing for this poem, I feel like I related to this poem as well, as I was also always heavy set, and it took a long time. It was more into my adulthood, to where I started to like learn confidence and like treating myself with more respect, and just the way I like would think about myself and the way I'd carry myself, because even I feel like it thinking down on yourself physically affects the way you carry yourself and the way that you like look personally. So once you start learning to love yourself and boosting your own confidence, I think it boosts physically like the way you are portrayed, because it's very weird to think about, but I definitely think that the way you think about yourself physically affects the way you look.
Mm.
So this was the drawing for this, and it was it's a young man looking through the mirror and kind of seeing either himself through all his life stages, or also seeing himself in his family members, and he has his hand up to the mirror, kind of like showing his respect to them a little bit. And I think that's another way of thinking about it would be like you see your family and you're thinking like how beautiful everyone is, and like how you admire the genetics between everybody. and then not seeing that beauty in yourself, but you've admired it in everyone else around you. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, I have that too. I have my mom and all my aunts' chin, and you've never thought that it looked bad on anyone else, so why would it look bad on you? But I think that's just kind of where the drawing came from, was seeing yourself in your family, and also seeing that carry through, like, in yourself as you grow.
Yeah. So, the one last thing I'd say about that poem, I appreciate you, No, thank you for saying that was one of your favorites. It, you know, we maybe, maybe I'm giving away the ending, but like that is the last poem of this book, and I thought it was a very good poem to end on, both in the book and here, because I think like I said, you're not only giving love to other people, you have to remember that you're your own lover as well. But what I would say about that poem is actually interesting because I was gonna do a poem just honoring my grandfather at one point. Like there was another poem, and I was gonna do that honoring him. I wrote it and I had it wrote for a long while, and it just was just around. And I kind of came back to it one time and was like, I just don't like this poem anymore. And so I deconstructed it. I literally just saved one line of that poem, and it was the last line of this poem. I was like, okay, I know I'm going to keep that line, and then I decided that I built it another poem on top of that line. Yeah, this is like the product of one failed poem and another poem that I thought would, so.
It's just like, it's almost like that poem was the grandfather to this poem.
Hey.
It's full circle.
Yeah. Well, guys, like I said, this was tonight. We wanted to give you a little taste. That was about half of the poems that were in this book. It's a small collection, but I think I'm very proud of it. I like the product and what it came out. I think all the illustrations go perfectly with the poems, and I'm very glad to have this as a product, and this combination of this team here.
Yeah. We were working on this for over a year.
Yeah.
So this is the product of that, and I'm also proud of how it came out. I think it looks awesome, and we're excited for you to read it. So it was an honor to get to have DeMarcus read some of his work to you guys and have me talk about the drawings for all of them. So we hope that you guys order one and read it, and we'd absolutely love to hear what you think about it.
Yeah. And again, to order, just hit me up on DFFECTIV at yahoo.com.